Merry meet, witches. Welcome to the Witch Hats and Broomsticks podcast with the high priestess of all things witchy, your host, Ginger Hugh.
Hey, thank you for joining me. I want to give a big shout out to everybody who reached out to me through text and email and phone calls from my very first episode of Witch Hats and Broomsticks. I had so many people thank me for being open with my story, and I was totally blown away by that. I had people tell me how I inspired them, how I made their journey seem worthwhile. Of course, your journey is worthwhile. And then I had other people who said they wanted to research the craft. They were just getting into it. And my story helped them see how the journey evolves and how the craft calls you to it. And then I had other people who I had read for a very, very long time reach out and say, I knew it, Ginger. I knew you were a witch the first time I talked to you. Well, that left me pondering because I wasn't quite sure what that meant, if that was good or bad or what. So I took that tentative step into the conversation and said, how did you know I was a witch? I talked to you on the phone. You have only heard my voice. And how'd you know? I wanted to know this. I really did. And every single one of them said, I came to you for a reading. The minute you answered the phone, I knew there was something magical about you. Your energy made me feel so safe and so alive, something I hadn't felt before I called you. And I went, oh, you felt my energy. Of course you did, because that's what witchcraft is all about. It is all about energy. So today we're going to discuss the energy of witchcraft. What is witchcraft? I know we talked last week about are you a witch and what kind of witch are you? And I had a lot of you tell me, oh, I think I am a witch. I'm not sure if I'm a glam witch. I like nail polish. I like to get my hair done. Does that make me a witch? I like being out in the herb garden in the spring, but I don't know what to do with it. Does that make me a green witch? I like cooking and using herbs, but I don't really pay attention to what's going on with it. Does that make me a kitchen witch? So here's the thing. There are all these different labels for witchcraft. There are all these different ways that you can bring witchcraft into your everyday life. So I would say to you, to all of you who are searching and really trying to figure out what kind of witch am I, right now it doesn't really matter. You're looking into it. You're looking at how witchcraft works in your life. So don't get hung up on the labels. We're going to talk about today what witchcraft is, and maybe that will help you get into what kind of witchery you like, what you want to follow. So, what is witchcraft? It is just that. It is a craft. In witchcraft, we use our hands, we use our energy, we use our thoughts, we use our bodies, we use our words, we explore, we personalize, we learn, and then we take all of these different aspects of ourselves, all the things we have discovered outside of our little mundane lives, and bring it into a bigger awareness. This is the basis of witchcraft. Our energy combines with all energies. Yeah, pretty awesome. Witchcraft is a journey into personal empowerment. We take the energies of our world, the things we can see, and the energies that we can't see, Then we invoke change with our desires, our wants, our needs, and the energies we are working with at the time, and then we manipulate it. Yeah, we take the energies and we say, my friend is going through a lot of changes right now, and she needs some positive energy sent to her. So today I'm going to light a yellow candle for her, which is all uplifting, powerful energy. I'm going to focus on my amazing friend, and I'm going to send her some really loving, emotionally uplifting, powerful energy. That is witchcraft. Today, my friend who lives in another state is having a hard time because she had knee surgery and she's healing from knee surgery. So I am going to send her some healing energy and light a blue candle for her and put some healing crystals around that candle and maybe put her picture in front of the candle too and say, I want these energies to go to my friend who's recovering from knee surgery. And all day long, every time I walk by that candle, I'm thinking of my friend and I'm sending her good healing vibes. I'm focusing on her knee and I'm sending her energy. I'm manipulating energy to send to someone else. You can do this for yourself too. This is the basis of witchcraft. You could say, this morning I woke up with a wicked headache and I'm not feeling very well and my house feels yucky. So I'm going to smudge my house with a nice sage stick. I'm going to smudge myself. I'm going to take a beautiful sea salt bath, add a little lavender oil to it, maybe some rosemary oil to help my headache. And I'm going to soak in that. And that is witchcraft because I'm manipulating the energies around me to make myself feel better, to clear my energy, to open my energy. Then I'm adding some bath salts, some sage, some essential oils to assist me. Those are my magical tools. And that is witchcraft. So for all you people who are wondering if you're a witch or not, now you know. If you're doing Reiki, if you're doing crystal healing, if you're doing candle magic, even if it's just lighting candles for a friend, maybe lighting candles in church, it's a form of witchcraft. And I don't want to offend any Christians listening to me. But if you're a Christian or a Catholic or whatever, and you're going to church and you're saying prayers and you're lighting candles and you're sending energy, you are manipulating energy, you are practicing witchcraft. All right, so I'm probably going to get a whole lot of response from that statement. But if you look at the big picture of witchcraft, the definition is you are moving energy, manipulating energy. If you're a psychic medium, you're manipulating energy. Fiona Horn, who is an amazing author, wrote the book Witch, A Magical Journey. And she has a quote in that book that I absolutely love. It is, being a witch is about having your eyes wide open and experiencing the onslaught of existence. So does that make all of us witches because we have that onslaught every single day? It could, if you're manipulating energy to deal with it. If you are moving energy, sending energy, thinking of energy for another, or doing that for yourself, that's witchcraft. So let's break down some definitions, probably definitions you have heard before. And let's start with you're a pagan. I've been called that so many times in my life, it just makes me smile. Because here is the definition of paganism. This comes from the Oxford English Dictionary. So paganism is anyone who does not follow the main world religions, such as Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism, and Judaism. Anyone else is a pagan, according to the English dictionary. Let's talk about Wicca. All right, so let me just say that Wicca has a tendency to rub witches the wrong way. When I first started in my practice, it was Wicca that I was trained in, really trained in. So let me share with you a little bit about Wicca. Wicca is a religion, which I didn't know when I started it. I thought I was doing witchcraft. It is based on pre-Christian traditions. It has hierarchies, gods, goddesses. It has rules. 3 times 3 times 3. Do unto others. Do no harm. Very parallel to some Christian kind of belief systems. Do unto others as they would do unto you. But in Wicca is do no harm. What you send out, you get back. That's a biggie, okay? That's all in Wicca. Witchcraft doesn't have that. Doesn't have it. There's also a form of governance, which means that in order to move out of being a baby witch, you have to follow the year and a day teachings. So let me share a little about my Wicca experience. And some of you may be looking at Wicca or have studied Wicca and really are into it and grooving with it. When I started it, I was really into it and grooving with it also. And it really helped me because I knew there was some kind of magical thing calling to me and I had to follow it. Okay? So if you're into Wicca, it's not a bad thing. It's just different than straight witchcraft. Okay? So when I started, I met a lady who I love dearly. Carol, if you're listening, she was one of my very first mentors in the craft, and she taught Wicca. And in this Wicca class, we went for a year and a day, which means I studied with her for a whole year and a day, all the holy holidays of Wicca, all the Sabbats, the wheel of the year, which is basically the harvest schedule. It's based on how early settlers, farmers, dwellers, country dwellers, took care of the crops, took care of their cattle, honored the earth, planted, sowed, harvested, turned the earth, let everything die in the winter, come back in the spring. That is the wheel of the year. And so in Wicca, you follow the wheel of the year really heavily. In witchcraft, you can also, but it's really more pronounced in Wicca. So I did the whole year and a day, and I had people studying with me. So we had an instant coven, and a coven is just a group of people who are in a craft situation. In this case, it was Wicca for me. So there were 8 ladies who were all studying under Carol, and we formed this brand new coven of students. We went on to do our year and a day, and at the end of the year and a day, you get initiated into the craft, into Wicca. And the high priestess does the initiation. It's all very symbolic. It's like you're being reborn into the craft, and it's beautiful. It makes you feel so alive and magical and amazing. And it makes you kind of feel like you passed witch school. Okay? So I kept going. I went on to do my second degree. There's first degree, second degree, third degree, fourth degree. Second degree was studying a specific subject. And I picked herbalism because I love plants. I'm a plant freak. And I grew up around them. And the first thing I ever studied was herbs. So I worked heavily with herbalism. That was my study. I worked more with my high priestess as she coached me on doing circle being all of us getting together on full moons, on Sabbats. Sabbats are the holidays. And I was like her helper, her assistant, her junior high priestess. And I loved it, totally loved it. And I loved researching all the herbs. And so I had to write a paper on that and let her see what I was working on. And again, it was kind of like witchcraft school. All right. So I got initiated for my second degree and it was beautiful and wonderful. And I thought, I want to go further. I just want to go further. So I went further. I went on to my third degree, which was actually teaching students, studying even further the elements, what all the symbols mean, all the holidays, writing rituals, working with large groups. I did big full moon celebrations, went to the full moons in Colorado where I lived, and I did all my study. They had open full moons at the Unitarian Church, and sometimes 200, 300 people would come to that, and it was amazing. And I would get to help. And I loved it. I went to festivals. I shared what I was doing with people. I just thrived in that environment. I got my third degree initiation, which meant I was a third degree high priestess and I could do all these amazing things. My fourth degree was a lot harder. I had to write like a thesis, an entire paper on herbs, oils, the healing properties, how to mix them. I made incense, powdered incense, and stick incense. I loved it. And by the end of that fourth year, I was teaching students. I had my own coven. I was doing a lot of work in the craft community and really finding what made me smile. So I got my fourth degree, initiation. All of this is under the umbrella of Wicca. Here's what I didn't get in Wicca. There were so many times when I wanted to hear about how do we move this energy or that energy, because I was also doing readings at the time. I was a psychic medium, getting my business off the ground, working super hard to do that. And I had taken Reiki, I had taken crystal healing classes, I was a Reiki master and a crystal healer, and I did a lot of that kind of work in the metaphysical store I was working in. But in learning Wicca, I knew I was moving energy. I knew that I was creating what I wanted, what I desired, what other people needed. I was doing spells for other people and they worked. And I would think to myself, how come nobody ever talks about the actual movement of energy in Wicca? It is not talked about. So that's what I missed in Wicca. And that's when I realized I don't really think I'm Wiccan. I think I'm just a witch. Okay? I just do my witchy thing and I love it and I thrive on it. And I've taken it beyond all the teachings that I had in Wicca Witch School and moved it into witchcraft. And when I did that, I moved energy all the time. So the definition of witchcraft, and you're going to smile when you hear this, witches. The definition of witchcraft is about what you do. That's right. That's all it is. It's about what you do. It is someone who attempts to change and manipulate energy to their will. Moving energy to their will. It's kind of like the Abraham Hicks people who say if you think it, you can make it happen. Well, if you do it, you can make it happen. It's all about working with energies. So this is how we define where we want to study. So some of you who may have been listening to what my experiences in Wicca were may get really excited about that and say, I really want to have some formal training in Wicca. So if that's what's calling to your heart, then there are some amazing books out there. And I would say to each and every one of you, read, read, read. There are so many books on witchcraft, on Wicca, on paganism. Read as many as you can. Some of them you'll get through the first chapter and go, what? That's crazy. I don't resonate to that at all. Others you may pick up and go, oh yeah, I really like that. That's what I need to be focusing on. And others still may take you on an amazing adventure that opens you up to a whole different path in the craft and says, come on, come on, come on. Let's go do this. Let's go do that. Just listen to your heart, your soul, your guts while you're reading it. So for those who are interested in Wicca, I want to talk about Scott Cunningham really quickly. Scott Cunningham is the godfather of Wicca as far as putting books out. Gerald Gardner started it, but Scott Cunningham took it to another level. He opened it up for the average person to get his books and to really investigate how we use different tools such as cauldrons, herbs, oils, bath salts, energies, days of the week, candles, candle colors, all of it. He took the very technical terms of ceremonial magic, which is another form of witchcraft, and made it easy for the average person to follow along, to start working with different energies and herbs and candles and oils and days of the week and all of that. And he wrote Wicca for the Solitary Practitioner. Read it. If you're just starting, get that book. Get a used copy if you need to, because I'm not sure it's still in print. He's written other amazing books. He has a whole line of them, and you can find them on Amazon or in your nearest metaphysical store. They usually carry all of that. So maybe start there. Other authors, Silver Ravenwolf, she writes very user-friendly books. They're light. They're kind of fluffy. They're not hardcore stuff that are technical and hard to read. She's very kind of light and fluffy, and she'll get you started. She'll leave you with a warm, nice feeling. But like me, you may read it and go, okay, when are we going to talk about energy? When's that going to come in? How do I manipulate energy? And you may find yourself craving that. Another great author is Christopher Penczak. He wrote The Sacred Temple of Witchcraft. It's very technical. It's a big, fat, thick book. It can be really overwhelming if you're just starting out, so maybe do the other books first. And then, of course, there's other amazing authors that are out there who have guides for the new witch. So I will leave you with this little bit of advice as you travel through your journey of witchcraft or Wicca or general paganism. You may be studying shamanism and all the earth religions. There are so many books out there, so much information. And your motto as you study and you travel down these paths is take what you need and leave the rest. Take what you need and leave the rest. That has been my lesson, because there are so many contradictory ways of teaching in some of these books, and you may read one and it says do it this way, and the next one you read may say do it totally opposite. Do what feels good in your guts, because that's going to keep you on the right path that is right for you. Because remember, witchcraft is all about empowering you in your witchcraft practice. That's why it's called practice. We're practicing our entire lives to do our best life and to practice our best magic and to stay in our power and just empower our energy with focus and intention and beautiful energy with Mother Earth. So I wish you a magical journey. Thank you for listening, and check out the website, themysticalwareshop.com. We have classes coming up, little mini courses coming up on the School of Witchery page. They're little courses that will take you into different aspects of witchcraft and magic. Some of it's Wicca, some of it's craft, some of it's just talking about how to work with candles, how to work with animals, all of that. So if you're interested, check it out. Thank you so much for listening, and merry part.
Merry part, witches. For more demonstrations, classes, and magical goodies, visit themysticalwareshop.com.